Not gonna lie, I clickbaited you. This is my classic Jeep and Hot Rod collection. I mean, I got a couple big cars outside, but I'm a child of the 70s and 80s. I know I look like I'm barely 23, but yeah, I played with toys in a day when you could play with toys without ruining the thing in 10 minutes. And so, I'm a Jeep guy. I'm also a Tonka guy. A lot of folks in the heartland here collect tractor toys. Jalen's got a couple tractors, but I'm a Tonka guy and I'm a Tonka Jeep guy. I don't know what it is, but I love these old toys, and I've been collecting on them for about, probably at least 20 years. And I come across little things. So why do I have so many, first of all? Well, let's just run you through what we have, and then we'll explain, because you see like multiples of the same thing here and there. I'm going to make this a little educational, because through my collecting experience, I've learned a little bit about Tonka toys in general, the vintage stuff, and especially the Jeep stuff, if you're into that kind of thing. So up here on the top row, we have the larger scale. Some of these are Jeepsters. Some are older, some are newer. We'll look into that a little more closely here in a second. And then we've got some of the big tire Jeeps. We've got a Jeep Wagoneer. A Jeep pickup truck converted into a camper. This one actually belongs to my daughter. She called dibs on that. A couple bigger scale Jeeps. We have another row of larger scale Jeeps. Highway Patrol Jeep Wagoneer. And then a handful of the larger scale green Army Jeeps. And this is where we're really going to get into why do you need 5 of these? Why do you think you need 5 of these? Moving down, we get into the smaller size Jeeps. Again, got one row of, I'll call them fat tire Jeeps. We've got a couple military police Jeeps here. And then we get into a little bit older Jeep with the skinny tires. And then we get into some civilian colors. The blues and the green and the red. And then we've got a whole row of purple. Which, yeah, we've got a lot of purple ones. And then down here, we've got a couple Jeeps that we'll talk about. And then these are just a couple of oddball collectibles that either I've been gifted or collected over the years. And for some reason, I still have. There's an NWA CD. Didn't know I had that in me, did ya? Let's go over here. We've got, again, some civilian. We've got a couple Smokey the Bear Forest Service Jeeps. This truck's just kind of an oddball, but there's a little mini theme going on here. We've got some sand Jeeps here. Now we run into, as I was researching Tonka Jeep stuff, I figured out that Buddy L back in the day made some cool Jeep toys. So we started, kind of looking at those a little bit here and there. And then, outside of Jeeps in general, you've got this era of Tonka toys that are just cool. This is your hot rod era. And then we got a couple odds and ends down here. Got a little bit more going on over here. But yeah, that's the gist of our hot rod, our vintage Jeep and hot rod collection. Now, why do I have so many? Let's talk age first. How do you tell one Tonka toy is older than another Tonka toy? Well, let's look at Jeeps here. Couple things. Before they started riveting the windshields on with steel rivets, they would just put pins in them and they would fold up and down like that. We've got 2 examples of that. There's another one up here. This guy are 2 of the older Jeeps that I have. Another way, if you look real close in the headlights here, you've got kind of a diamond pattern. The initial headlights, clear headlights, you could see the 3 prongs that poke in through the hole in the metal through the lens. So this is earlier than this one. We have another example of that in this blue Jeep. Another way to tell older from newer, this guy in the white letter on the white surround on the hubcap has the larger Tonka Toys USA printing. This one has it as well. When you get into a little bit later Jeep, they just go to straight Tonka and Tonka. What else is there? Well, let's look at this pink Jeep. Another really good example. Earlier Jeeps of this, when you talk about the Wagoneer and the Jeep pickups, they'll have these knobby tires on them. If you get a later example, like this Highway Patrol Jeep Wagoneer, it'll have regular kind of tire tread grooves, or they'll be slick on there. So this is an older piece than this guy, but these two are pretty old. In bigger Jeeps, this scale Jeep, you'll go again, if you have the big tires, the older versions have these squared off knobs. The newer ones, and to this day, a lot of the Tonka Jeeps and Tonka Toys and trucks and stuff, this should look really familiar to you. This is the newer style of tire that they've been putting on them. What else? And then the newest large scale Jeep I have, we're still in that new style tire. And then this is actually one that you can take the tires off and put them back on by twisting this little thumb screw here. Likewise, when you talk about green Jeeps, talk about age, we're going with, we got pins in this windshield frame, and then we have the large Tonka font where it actually says Tonka Toys USA rather than the next generation where it just has Tonka on the tires and we have rivets in the windshield. This one does have kind of the patterned headlight though. So, and then we see the next generation of Jeep come along and things cheaped out just a little bit. We went from clear headlights to white plastic headlights. You see this up here in the Jeepsters as well. Clear headlight, newer ones, white plastic headlights. And that theme will kind of hold true without, oh, we got an Army Buddy L guys hiding out in here. Forgot to mention that. So that's kind of age new to old. So the next thing you might be asking yourself is, Frederick, why does he need to have so many? Well, again, the geekiness comes out, and let's look at this row. For some reason, we've got 5 large scale Tonka Army Jeeps. All right, let's look a little closer. This again, early model. It's got the pinned windshield hinge, the unit numbers on the side of the hood with the white star, plus it's got the original Tonka Mound, Minnesota sticker on the back and a spare wheel. So this is kind of a cool one. This is one that the guys and gals in the Tonka world would say, yeah, I'd like to have one of those. So then why do we need this one, right? What for? Well, we're into a little bit later generation of Jeep, but what's different? Now we have this decal on the side. Same unit number, model number, and we're missing the decal on the back. Just a little bit different, but also kind of the same. So what's next, you might ask? Well, let's take a look at this guy. This guy needs a little tweaking. He's got a little bent bumper here. We'll fix on that. Here we've got yet another example. Pretty close, and this is going to be one of those in-between ones because we have the large Tonka Toys USA on the wheels, the older font on the wheels, but we have a riveted windshield frame. Now the difference in this one is the side decal is down here on the rocker. No back decal. It does have a place to hang a spare tire, but we don't have a spare tire on it. So that's a little unique. Well, that's got to be about it, right? No, they did other different things too. Here we've got a little bit later version yet. We've got white walls for some reason. We've got a white plastic interior. And then we're back up on the rear quarter with our sticker. So this one's unique in its own way as well. Pretty good example. We've got a little bit of rust showing through the sticker here and there, but that one cleaned up pretty good. And then this is the latest Army Jeep in this scale that we have. We've got a new model number, a new, much more modern font, quite frankly. We've got this 3-star Tonka sticker on the rear quarter. We've got the fatter in this scale of Jeep. This here's the later model of tire and wheel combination, but still displays really nice. And again, the other side is the same. This one's got the top, and it has these support rods there for the top. As far as tops go, what you watch for, and this goes the small scale or the larger scale, got to watch right here on each side by the built-in jerry cans. There's a little hook that hooks underneath the body of the Jeep. Those break off really easily, and we're talking 50-year-old toys here. So in any scale, that's what you watch for with the plastic tops. So that's why we have 5 of these. They are each unique in their own little way. So let's move over here now to the more, well, kind of civilian side. We got a couple police Jeeps here. This one came to us really rough. They're kind of hard to find though, and it cleaned up really well. And in a future video, we're gonna kind of help you out on how to make an antique toy buy kind of shine, even though it's pretty rough when you might pick it up. We've also got an Air Force Jeep. I was not in the Air Force, but very cool. It's missing a couple decals, but these guys right here are hard to find in decent condition for an affordable price. So I will take this quality any day as a showpiece, and I love, love, love the dark blue. Now we get into kind of speaking of colors, here, let me fix that windshield. A little bit of a metallic aqua maybe color going on here. Really nice old Jeep, white letters, and yeah, it's got a nice sticker on the back. And like we started out, now this Jeep was badly stained when we got it. You kind of see the yellowing in there. Something got spilled in it or sat in it or whatever, but it's coming around. We've cleaned on it a couple times. It's got a great sticker on the back. And you know it's made in America when it's old enough that we didn't even bother putting made in America in it. You knew these Jeeps came out of Mound, Minnesota, and they're American toys. Now let's talk about this guy for just a second. This is the only camper I have. I bought it on a whim because it's a really nice piece. Good decals, good paint, very clean undercarriage. On these units, or any units with a top and windows, the windows are what you got to pay attention to. This one's not supposed to have them here. And the door on this one too. Well, I can't, it opens, all right? I don't have enough fingers to do GoPro and do door. But yeah, we got our windows in there. We got our back window that's just fine, and really, really clean rig. And that one's my daughter. She's claiming that one. Sorry about that. I put you down for a second. We've got a couple more older ones. Here you can see that the sticker got moved just a little bit, just in a little bit different position. So that's kind of unique. You know, this was when humans made things. And so, you know, maybe the human didn't put the sticker on exactly the same each time. This one's a little rougher. Here's an example. This steering wheel still needs installed. But a very old Jeep, Tonka Jeep. I mean, you can feel the difference in weight between this Jeep and this Jeep. It's just a whole different gauge of metal and everything else in that guy. And I'm gonna drop him here if I'm not careful. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. These guys, why do I have 3 of these? Well, you notice this one's got yellow wheels, mags in the back, but slicks in the back. This one's got white wheels and same tire setup, but different wheels. And these guys, on most of these Jeeps, stickers is where it's at. If they aren't printed on clear sticker material, then they are paper based, and they do not like to withstand the test of time. This third guy, a little bit different yet. He's got wide slicks in the front, treaded tires in the back, and we got a little crack on this one on the interior piece. And then he's also missing a sticker. I'll show you where the back sticker is supposed to be, right there on these. So this was one of my first honey buckets I bought. I think I didn't pay much for it. That's the name. They named a lot of their cars. We'll get to that down the road here too. You can tell, if you've been paying attention now, newer Jeep. Clear headlights, clear headlights, clear headlights. Older Jeeps, white headlights, probably early 80s. If you're looking for something that's kind of cool that you want to put on your little collector shelf, for some reason, I don't know why, but these things really kind of geek out on them, and they don't bring much at all on the flea bay and auction sites, toy sites, that kind of stuff. So if that'd be a good way to maybe get your Tonka Jeep collection started. Yeah, this is just iconic to my generation. This one has the paper sticker, is in great shape, but it just dried up and popped off. We're going to show you in a later video how we can kind of restore that and make that sticker live on. This Jeep, unique color, tan color. It's got Tonka on the sides of the hood, and it obviously spent some time in a pretty dry environment because the tires are chalky. But another unique thing, it's got these rib tires all the way around. Gives it a lower stance and kind of a different look altogether. Well, let's stay on the topic of Jeeps, but let's move to Buddy L. So as I started, digging through the intraweb looking for Tonka Jeeps, I realized, hey, look, they're not the only name in the game, so to speak. Buddy L through 60s, 70s, probably early 80s, made some Jeep. Now, the Buddy L stuff was made in Japan, so maybe not quite as all-American as the Tonka brand, but still pretty cool. We'll run through these. I stole this one from over where the green Jeeps are parked. Really nice piece. Has the Army star. It has a little, unit number on it. A little more plain, but at the same time, this top's metal. So that's kind of cool with the Buddy L's, and it is removable. Folding windshield. The windshield's polished or chromed. So that's kind of interesting and different than the Tonkas. But the rest is really pretty similar. Pressed metal pieces put together with tabs and metal rivets. These have pressed headlights in the back. And if you see this, if I can point to this little rectangular area here, and you'll see it on a couple others, this is where their sticker would be. I don't know if the military one was supposed to have a Buddy L sticker here or not. But we've got a blue one, light blue one. This one's called Cool Cat. These, there's your Buddy L sticker, like I was saying, but these, a little bit cheaper Jeep. The hitches break off really fast on these. They're just kind of slid into the plastic and not held in place very well. So that one's got a broken hitch, but it's got a really cool decal, chrome wheels, good grill, that kind of thing. This one, if it had a name, that sticker's been removed. It's got a tan interior, which is kind of neat. And it's got these funky hubcaps on the wheels that make it kind of stand out. Pretty blue color. Again, we've got a sticker, so that's a pretty nice unit. Here we go with the names again. Whoops. This one was called the bike hauler. I think it's supposed to have a trailer that comes with it that has either pedal bikes or motorcycles. I think motorcycles on it. But it's got these really funky wide slicks all the way around that kind of give it just kind of a really strange stance, but kind of cool stance at the same time. Chrome center caps on the wheels. The sticker's mostly gone. This one's kind of a beat up piece, but it does have that different kind of look to it. This green one's kind of neat. It's just a good looking piece. Has a good sticker. Doesn't have a top, but otherwise, you know, pretty neat. Neat color. Now, Buddy L, they would package theirs a lot. This is called the buggy hauler, and they packaged that with this little guy called the sandpiper. Came on a trailer with the matching color combination. This one's got an orange plastic interior. I think, yeah, we've got a sticker on the back, but that's kind of a cool, unique thing to the Buddy L kind of Jeep line. And then this little guy, just an added little bonus on your trailer. Probably, I'm going to move him out of the way so we can see the next one, because it's going to be hard to pick up. So this is probably the best condition Buddy L Jeep I have, and it comes with a horse trailer. The pony trailer's here. This Jeep, it doesn't have a name decal on it. I don't think it's supposed to, but check out the color combination. You've got a chartreuse green, lime green color with plum crazy purple kind of body and a white top. You know, if that doesn't scream 1978 to 1980 on you, I don't know what does. It's got a great sticker. The horse trailer's in really good shape, and it even has a little horse. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have one or two ponies in there, but we've got one. Hitch is in good shape. That's a pretty fun little piece right there. Now we're going to move over to another shelf, a little darker over here. This is not lit very well, and I apologize for that. So you also have a manufacturer called the Marks Toy Company, and they made Jeeps for a while. I've only got two of them. This one is a more plain example. It's got some hubcaps that need installed. The steering wheel's broken off, but it's got hood decals that are kind of neat. And it's pretty straight. Unique thing with this is the jerry cans aren't molded plastic. They're pressed tin, and they're attached to the rest of the body with the metal tabs. So kind of a little bit of different thinking in the design. And then on the chassis, the axles are entirely captured by the plastic body in the back and the metal body in the front. So you gotta actually pull the tires off of these to change axles out and stuff like that. So a little different design. This one's a little nicer, but they played around with some tire options as well throughout their time. This one has the little tow hitch, which breaks off almost all the time. But yeah, nice little pink Jeep. This is probably claimed by my daughter as well. She just hasn't yet, but I'm sure she won't let me do anything with it unless she gets a shot at it. So yeah, another example, big tire, little tire, Marks Jeeps. Those are only two of that style Jeep that I have. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of iconic to my childhood right here. So Tonka, for a period of time through probably mostly the 70s, maybe a little early 80s, they built these little hot rods. And I tell you what, this was what every kid drew up on their notebooks at school, when they were at home, before computers and all this other stuff. They dreamt up cars like this in their minds and on paper. And then Tonka was cool enough that they made them real toys. Pretty neat. This one, and here we get into the 70s and 80s with your names. This is the Track Duster. So this is a T-bucket type coupe with a big old chrome engine and side pipes, chrome hubcap slicks in the front, treaded tires in the back. This harkens to the early years of dirt track racing, where this would be your water rig, and this is actually functional. You can fill this little tank up with water and it'll drip out of this hose. This is a really nice unit. It does have a little bit of paint missing on the corners on the top, But the big thing with these is, sorry, there's a little nipple that this hose connects to. So the hose is almost always missing and that little nipple is broken off. And then the little fill cap here is usually missing. So that's a pretty nice piece. And, you know, you can't go wrong with the light blue orange color combination. Next, and these seem to be pretty affordable if you're looking for something cool to get into in a collector toy hobby. The Hot Hauler. Okay, so it's got a little box on it. Got the flames coming out of the sticker. Again, same engine though. They did these pretty economically. A lot of these parts, although different colors, interchanged. And you'll notice on the next one we get to, they all have the same metal chassis, and then it's just a matter of how you build them out from there. But yeah, really cool. Uses the same steering wheel as the Jeeps do. So that's a handy little crossover part that if you need a part, you know where to look. But yeah, pretty cool little unit here. Again, wild color scheme, purple and yellow. So that brings us to this guy. He is just a little mini bucket, little T-bucket car. They called the Tonka mini bucket. It's actually a picture of a metal pail with a wheel shooting out flames and the little handle sitting there. I mean, just cool. Glitter, brownish, rusty glitter body, open top. There's your steering wheel, your little safety hoop roll bar. And here's that same metal chassis that all these are based on. But this one's got really great stickers, really clean car. Just a cool piece. That's one of my favorites for sure. All these are just, I'm sure as a kid I owned each one of these, and I destroyed them because I just played with them relentlessly until, you know, you couldn't tell what they were anymore. We're into Tonka Thunder Hubs. I don't know where that name came from, but we're kind of in between. We've got a T-bucket body with a little bit of a top, a fake top that's supposed to attach to this windshield, I guess. Got our side pipes. Here's what's kind of cool, if you can see it on the steps, on the side steps. It's got Tonka in a cursive font that's really similar to like Ford would have done way back in the day. So they're reaching back to that Model T, Model A type vibe here for sure. And then you've got lime green over orange with a white interior. Are you kidding me, guys and gals? That's cool. Another one of my favorites. You got the apple peeler. And we got a little worm in there. Yeah, this one's got a red, white, and blue paint scheme, which, you know, America. But you've got the sedan delivery type style body here. Open in the back. This one's a real clean unit. This is metal. The red is plastic. The blue is plastic. And then it has this is your same black chassis here again. It's just a matter of how they build it out. The same big chrome engine with the side pipes. Really cool rig. Got good stickers on both sides. Just super cool. And you can't go wrong with red, white, and blue. Now this guy, these are a little hard to find. And this one, you know, obviously, the issue with these is stickers. These are supposed to have these kind of gradient yellow stickers down the side. Got a big old chrome engine in the back. This one's in pretty good shape, but we're missing some stickerage here. The engine, usually this chrome gets worn off really bad here. The plastic can crack and scuff and whatever else. We're going to reattach a little bit of these stickers, but the major issue with this one and with all these Tonkas is now these axles are captured into the chassis with little tabs. This whole thing is put together by inserting pieces of metal together and then bending tabs. Here's bent tabs. This is from the cab section, and then this is where the box section comes on. And you can just kind of see how it all comes together. Well, they throw an axle in here, and then they straighten out these tabs, and that's the end of it. So you have two ways of changing wheels and tires on this. You can force the tire and wheel off of the axle, but you only get a couple times of doing that before you ruin the spline where that plastic hub goes onto the splined axle. The other option is to bend these tabs out to about a 90-degree angle. You can lift the whole axle assembly out. I did that many times as a kid, swapped out slicks for treaded tires, for skinny tires and big tires and whatever else. However, the thing you have to watch is if you're not really careful, and even if you are, you've probably got a limited amount of bends on this tin before they just snap off. And that's where we're at with this guy here. So this is a nice piece. It could be nicer, but for now, it's kind of just a display. If we come across another one someday, we might try to change out the whole chassis and show you how that happens. But for right now, it is what it is. Really cool truck though. And they're pretty hard to find in decent shape, so I'll take what I can get. All right, next shelf, we just get into some kind of oddball stuff. I'm not gonna lie. This is stuff when you're up late at night on the internet and it seems affordable, and so you're like, it's just kind of cool. But we have this from the era of drag racing. All of these little guys that look like this in one shape or form, they have a wheelie assembly in them. And you can pull them back. The idea is you pull them back, you release them, and then as they go on their spring power, there's a coil spring inside here. And as they roll, eventually this little arm pops down and they do a wheelie as they're rolling, and just super cool. I think maybe the green one works. We'll check it out in a later video. But again, you've got the names. Trophy Trapper in a like a metallic font. You've got Wheeler Dealer referring to the wheelies. You've got Rail Splitter here. Just super unique. The loud paint, the lime green. They are supposed to have a sticker on the back. This one does, a couple of them don't. And like I said, some of the mechanisms don't work like they should. But tinted plastic are a little newer toy. We're probably pretty solid into the early 80s here. And we can tell that kinda because now we're sending stuff to Japan to have them make it. So all these dragster type bodies are made in Japan. They're different variations, different stickers again. And this one I didn't buy too long ago just because it had these side racing stickers from back in that era. And these companies are still strong today, most of them, but STP, Goodyear, Champion, Valvoline, Gulf, Hurst, iconic names in racing throughout the decades. And that's got stickers on both sides. So that's just cool. All these will come with either the rear mounted look-alike engine or the center mounted look-alike engine. We've got 3 rears, 1 center. Next, we got Indy cars. I bought these as a pair. They were affordable and they're just in great shape. So I don't know, I like them. So they're part of the collection. I mean, it's just unique to that era. If you go back and look at 80s Indy cars, and then Tonka came up with this concept. Just really cool. These you pull back, and as you pull back, this little center lever on the wing will pop up a little bit. You pull it back against the spring. There's spring tension in here too, a coil spring. Push that little center button and they'll roll. Now these are 40, 50-year-old toys, so their springy spring is not what it used to be. But either way, I think the red one works. I think the blue one needs a little work. Again, you know, late night interweb browsing, I stumbled upon Tonka went futuristic at some point. Made in Japan, so we're talking late 70s, early 80s. Sticker on the back. It's a little crooked. Cool decals, but look at that. How futuristic is that? 4 big tires, forward control, big wraparound windshield, kind of a forest green with a chartreuse sticker. That's pretty cool. Same concept. Again, you're dealing with the same chassis, just how they build out the top. This one, no exhaust, because looky here, we've got a turbine powered Tonka toy. Sticker on the chassis. Just unique with the racing stripe, the bright red paint. I mean, who thinks up this kind of stuff? The kids do, of that era. And Tonka listened to their customers, and they made stuff, you know. that people would just kind of get after. This one's a little different yet. Really pointed nose on this one. Cool decal. It's got the exhaust coming out the top. We've got a sticker on the back. These didn't have names, but they certainly had some unique styling to each one. And again, that super bright, let me get them in the light here, that super bright color pattern. It's just cool to see what toy manufacturers in the 70s and 80s, what they thought maybe futuristic vehicles might look like, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. We don't have anything like this yet, but, who knows? Elon Musk might just take a cue if he watches this video. Okay, let's talk odds and ends. We've got a Pacer X down here. I've always just kind of wanted one of these. It's in the box. The box is destroyed, but this is the purple version. I think they made a yellow one too. Tonka car, has big wheels, chrome mags, got a nice sticker on the back. This one hasn't been cleaned up yet. It could clean up a little better than it is now, but it's got a nice front bumper. It actually has the AMC logo on the license plate in the front and actually says Pacer in the back. We've got a made in Japan here, and I can tell you now we're into some pretty thin sheet gauge metal and light on some of the other stuff, because this car probably weighs about the same as this little Jeep. So just how things kind of evolved throughout the years. So that's kind of one of my odds and ends. We move back up to the top shelf, and we've got these 6x6s. I geek out kind of over some oddball stuff. These kind of intrigued me. I found this guy. He's got the green wheels, and yes, of course, sticker on the back, but really unique setup. And I thought that's the coolest one, because there's a lot of these around. When you're looking at these though, these little control sticks in here, they're almost always broken, and all three of mine have them intact. And then we figured out, oh, they make them in gray or silver wheels too. So we gotta have one of those. There's a sticker. This one needs headlights. I gotta find some parts headlights for that one, but there's another version. I'm trying to think, I think maybe white mags yet of these, but it's just really kind of cool to see the different, variations. And that's, quite frankly, once I start looking at stuff, I'm like, I want to have every type or variation that's available. That's where my brain kind of goes with that stuff. And then I've got a couple just general Tonka trucks. This is your standard, red cab, yellow box Tonka, probably 70s vintage, pretty clean. I haven't cleaned it up yet. It just went straight on the shelf. And be honest, I think this is a combo buy with a Jeep of some sort that I really wanted better. And this one I sought out. It's a hydraulic dump Tonka. So you take this little lever here and pull it down, and it pops up just like that. It's got the cool little flap gate on the back. It's in good shape. Has the stickers, the glass is good, the steering wheel's in it. So, it's a nice piece. I was after a hydraulic dump bed, and that's what I ended up with. All right, let's talk new arrivals. Yeah, I still, every once in a while, I'll pick a Jeep up, a toy Jeep up off of some auction site. This one, I don't really know why, because it's a Disney Jeep. The paint is really good on it. This now is a Marks Jeep. This is the other size that Marks made. You can see there. Licensed by Walt Disney. Has a bunch of the Disney characters on it. Now, it's a little rough, but it's all there. We're missing a couple hubcaps on this side, but otherwise complete. It's got the clear steering wheel. That's kind of hard to find in this one. Overall, really nice piece. Really thin gauge metal on these. It feels made overseas. Let's just leave it at that. But very cool. We're gonna dress this up and straighten out some of the pieces and clean it up and get it into display here pretty quick. These two are my most recent purchases. This one I bought simply because, look around. I ain't got an orange one yet. Good sticker. And the cool thing, and the purple ones are this way down here, they have this kind of floral 70s sticker on them. The yellow flower is the word Tonka. Are you kidding me? It does not have a sticker on the back, but it does have a good top. Both the tabs are there, as I told you to look for earlier. Got a little bit of dirt, but overall it's going to clean up exceptionally well. And we're talking less than $19 shipped. So where else can you get a 50-year-old collector toy for less than $20? You can't go to Walmart and buy something that's going to be this durable for less than $20 nowadays. So, you know, that's where it's at. This guy, let's see, hint, hint, hint. Why would I buy this Jeep when I already have a bunch of other ones that are the same general color? All right, any guesses? Tippy tap the comments. You gonna guess? Yeah, looky there. You got the white star. That is the correct sticker for the Tonka star. And you have black Tonka on the side of the hood. None of those Jeeps are a combination of black and white stickers. This is a very unique piece, I think. Now it does have a crack right here in the white plastic piece, but you can barely see it. And it's going to display well enough that we're not going to worry about it. I'm just intrigued and kind of geeked out when I saw the two different color stickers. And again, I think this was like $15 or $16 shipped. So, you know, pretty reasonable way to expand a collection. Now, the big piece here, and this one's been waiting for some attention for a while, and we'll kind of morph into what do we do when we get them? What if they're a little rough? Lime green, larger scale Tonka Jeep with two good stickers. It's missing a white insert on the tire there. It's missing a hubcap on 3 wheels. And it kind of, we got tire rubbage here. Well, let me show you on the ground real quick. What happens is when kids would own these, they'd roll them, they'd run them on the ground. Well, what you do is you put one hand here, littler hand, and you put one hand here and you push and you run behind. Well, when you push down, if you look real close, you push down and the sides bow out. Okay, and when the sides bow out, here, these two sides of the front section tend to come in, and then you also have the effect that the whole thing bends down in the middle. So because of all those things moving just a little bit, we've got tire rubbage here, and we've got, you know, this going on. However, it's all fixable. You can just simply bend that back with your hands. We've got a little bit of a bend in the windshield. We've got a bent up bumper. We've got some imperfections in the paint. So one of our next videos, we got a bent fender here. One of our next videos that we'll have, next cold snap probably when we're stuck indoors, we're gonna take this bad ride. We've got down here in this cabinet, I've got some parts Jeeps. And we've got enough parts to make this thing 100%. We're going to walk you through what we do to kind of restore our pieces when we get them and get them back to, you know, display quality. So this guy you're going to see more of in a future video. So you might ask yourself, Monty, what if we get ripped off? What if we go buy one of these Jeeps like Jarrett says to, and it turns out to be, you know, junk? Or, you know, how do we know? How do we know what we should and shouldn't buy? I've got 2 examples for you. Most of the time, it goes along with buying anything else. It's like buying a big car, a regular car, a hot rod, or a rescue car. If there's only 1 or 2 pictures and they're blurry, more than likely it's not good quality, or it better be darn cheap. In this day and age, when every Joe Schmo on the planet Earth has access to a decent camera in their phone, these listings should have multiple pictures and they should be in focus and all this other stuff. So blurry pictures, stay away, be cautious, be wary, all that good stuff, just like you would buying anything else. Okay, I've got 2 examples in my collection. Let me get them out here and I'll show you 2 other things to kind of watch for, especially on these Tonka Jeeps. All right, so we're back over here. Now to explain why this is not good, I have to tell you why, I targeted it as potentially good. Tonka did have some Jeeps that were either made for or made in Canada. And many of those Jeeps that are of Canadian origin had different colored windshields than the bodies. That means rather than like this blue one, they put them all together and then sprayed them, they would take the time to spray the windshield a different color in many cases. A lot of times it was white. So this is not overall a great quality Jeep, but it does have the sticker. It's mostly decent. And right away, I noticed the different color windshield. Now, there are pitfalls if you see pop rivets. Don't buy a Tonka Jeep if it's, screwed together or pop riveted together. It has to have these style of steel rivets. So anyway, I saw this guy and I thought, I still don't have one of these Canadian Jeeps. This one was cheap and it's got the style rivets that I like. Well, then it showed up. It doesn't. Somebody went to some extra care and found steel rivets. You can tell on the inside, they're fresh rivets. They were put in and captured in there. So they perfected the way of, at least for the most part, copying Tonka's rivets. Now they screwed this one up and it wasn't, I don't think, visible in some of the pictures. But so this showed up and I got to looking at it. Well, it's not. It's probably not a Canadian Jeep. It's something that somebody built. Now, did they build it to deceive some dingus like me? Maybe, but probably not. They're probably just goofing off with different parts and pieces. But nonetheless, this is not an accurate Tonka Jeep, and it certainly isn't a Canadian Tonka Jeep. So that's one thing to watch for. Now, another one. I bought this one. This is a nice piece. It's clean. Paint's in good condition. I didn't clean it up because I was a little miffed when I got it, but appears to have a good sticker, all this good stuff. And then you get to looking. Wait a minute. That sticker's a little big, actually. And oh, by the way, it's not real clear. Let me show you the difference. Here, we can do this way. Take this blue one for reference. Sticker A, sticker B. Sticker B is real. Sticker A was made on a computer. Again, was it done intentionally to deceive the next person down the road? Who knows? But it lessens the value of this particular Jeep in my mind just a little bit. Probably what I'll do is I'll just end up removing this sticker altogether. If I do sell this down the road, I don't want to be the guy that's throwing stuff out there with, computer generated stickers. And I do remember when I broke my own rule, this one had like 2 pictures and they were blurry. It is what it is. So that's probably long enough for this video. You kind of get where I'm going. If you like this kind of stuff, the antique toys, Tonka stuff, let us know. Hit us up in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more. We're going to take you down some basic repair, restoration, and pitfalls of buying these things as well. Appreciate you watching our stuff. We'll get back to real hot rods, but we're going to sprinkle in some toys if you want us to. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.